Hello, this is Kelly. Welcome to Our Texas Organic Garden. This is spring 2020, our 17th episode. And today I'd like to talk about life during the coronavirus, COVID-19, and how it can be pretty traumatic going shopping every day or once a week, once a month, however your schedule is, and to get fruits and vegetables, herbs. Well, if you have an organic garden at home, there's no problem. So I'll show you today how to plant some seeds in containers, and how maybe you can exist on a balcony garden as well as in the backyard. And just to start today, I'll show you the progress in our garden. And as you can see, we have all these peppers didn't freeze. So I have the small Pekin peppers here. Look at these. All these are getting ripe down here. These El Jefe jalapeno peppers. And here's another one, and here's another bunch of these gung pao peppers here. These are pretty super hot. Like I said, all of these I planted more than 1 year ago. I guess maybe March or so of 2019. Come over here, I'll show you back over here. We still have the pineapple plants, and next time I'll show you there are a couple of pineapples growing from inside. These were ones I've had about maybe 7 years, cut off the top from the supermarket. And of course we still have the fennel, sorrel, nice artichoke that's going to bloom soon, and then the Mizuna mustard is going to seed. So the mustard we have today is really no longer edible on the leaf, but we're going to use these seeds. If you go on around and look here in this bed, this is mostly the leafy vegetable bed. We have celery up in the front, and then broccoli, collard greens, and kale. If I come over here, you'll see again another Mizuna and some more kale, and the Swiss chard is still doing quite well because it's pretty cool still, but it's going to fade out soon along with the kale. So luckily we still have a lot of it. Tomato also from last spring, since we didn't have a freeze. A couple more artichokes here coming up. We have green globe, and the first one's a green globe, and the big one in the back is the violetto. It's going to be a really huge artichoke. Along here you see I still have the climbing spinach, the Malabar, and it's coming along very nicely. It didn't have any problem last winter, and the last time I saw you I was putting in potatoes here, and they'll be available, I guess, to harvest maybe in another month. And with potatoes, when you start seeing the greens on the top die back and shrivel, then they're going to be ready to pull up in a couple of more weeks. Over here in this bed, you'll see this is that wild asparagus. It comes back every year. Some more greens. We have parsley in the front, actually, with some more celery in the back. In the front, I've planted some carrots, and pretty much finished on them. Some radish seeds there, and as you see in the back, we have the organic beets. They've been there for several months now, but the beet itself hasn't really grown so much this year. If we go on over here, the main thing I'd like to talk to you about today is the seeds and how you can do them at home. Maybe 30% of what I put in our garden is from seed, and the rest I get from plant nurseries. And so I already put in some Kentucky beans over in this bed earlier this week. Here are some tomatoes. The first time I've ever tried to do them by seed. This is ornamental tomato that's going to be green with brown spots. And then here's a variety of okra, and then here is some gyoza or bitter melon in the back there. And one thing that we have here, we keep the seeds from a lot of what we grow. Here's a bitter melon, Goya. I also put down when I planted them or when I put them in pots, and butternut squash. And as you see, we also have some Thai long bean, some broccoli. Here's some hmong cucumber, some other mustard, and so we keep them in these Ziploc bags to keep them dry, and then we also try to keep them in a airtight container. Another thing you can do is propagate, and a good example of that is the Okinawan spinach, which I've shown you so many times. And these are all from propagation. This plant does not grow by seed. It has to only grow by propagation. And so these were all just cuttings that were a few inches tall from our big plant that's in a pot, and you see how well it's going so far this year. Behind it we have mint that's come back from the previous year. We also have some of that Okinawan spinach down there. You see also a lot of the shiso or Japanese basil has reseeded, and right here the Thai long bean also is from last year. It didn't freeze, and now it's starting to come back along this fence. Here also some eggplant varieties. That one is a Louisiana eggplant, the green one, and they also have been there for more than 1 year, and I think maybe 2 years now. And so again, didn't freeze. Tomatoes coming along over here. Look at all the shiso, Japanese basil, that reseeded from last year. So we had a few along this pathway last year, but now there's so many. So just wanted to put some more bark mulch out to make sure people didn't step on them and that they are indeed something to eat. Another thing that comes along every year are these wild berries, and just in the last couple of days, you see I've picked them. We have 2 or 3 different varieties of berries, and we'll have another 3 or 4 weeks of them. We'll probably get 2 or 3 kilos of them, not so many, but it's enough to put in ice cream and in the freezer. Down here, the red onions will be ready sometime soon, maybe in the next month. And again, our organic rosemary is doing amazingly well. And this Okinawan spinach you see over here is doing really, really well. And it's actually flowering, but like I said, we can't use those seeds from the flowers with the Okinawan spinach. It just doesn't work. Follow me along here, and oh, I was going to show you these grapes. Again, the grapes will come around the 1st of June, end of May, and the star Confederate jasmine is blooming now, so that's also a very nice smell. I wish you were here and you could smell it. Let's go over here to this. This is the Korean and Japanese daikon radish, and as you see, they're blooming now, so we're going to take some seeds from them as well. And it rained a lot the last couple of weeks, and some of the soil disappeared off of the top of the daikon. In fact, they should be covered. I just haven't had a chance to cover them. It's better if you don't expose the plant, the root, but actually it kind of helps me now because I can see which one I want to pull up. And so, yeah, you see, they're not so huge this year, but we have about this size is the average, and sometimes we get a couple more inches, but they are organic. You'll never find them so large at the supermarket. If you look behind me, we have the smaller variety of yellow onions. They're also going to be ready in another month or so. And if you just come on around around here. More grapes up here on the hurricane fence. And back behind me is the potted Thai basil, the holy basil. These also came from seed, and this is amazing. Look at that. And behind it is some more oregano that we had in the back there, the Spanish oregano. And that does it for today. I hope that everyone stays safe and healthy, and it's good to start a garden on your own. It really saves us a lot of stress. We have as many greens as we want, and also seasonal vegetables. We also have fruit, we have berries, we have figs, we have oranges and lemons. Try it at home and try to be less dependent on the supermarket. Here's to happy gardening.